Barber County Senior Center is cutting the group meal here at the Baughman Towers, but the meal will still be offered at the Barber County Senior Center. A van will pick up residents right here and drive them right here to the Barber County Senior Center. Well, you might recognize this famous scene, but you may also recognize that baby Jesus is missing from the Gracious Living Nursing Home in Fairmont. You could just be sitting in your dorm on a regular day, not thinking that an active shooter situation could ever actually happen. However, at Fairmont State, they're actually training today in case this were to ever happen. Crystal Pollack was homeless for 2 years, and she knows how hard it can be. She told me it's not something that's easy to overcome, and she wants to help get homeless people off the streets.
Austin, share more of what you've been hearing today.
Well, guys, I was able to actually talk to a couple of the people here last night as investigators were on scene. And I was able to talk to some more neighbors today. And a couple of them did say that they are worried about their safety and perhaps they could be on the move. Well, guys, the city is actually on board with this. You can see a sign just like this one right here for the crosswalk. You can also probably see on the ground that the paint is starting to fade. Now, school resource officers are actually asking that as well. They want more signage, as well as they want these crosswalks painted for student safety. Advocates for suicide prevention want to always remind people that there is always help available if needed, and to remember that everyone is loved. In Fairmont, Austin Pollack, 5 News. Well, I've spoken with many officials about this. They say there's still that urge to check for lead pipes in your home, especially if they're old. This is something water officials take very seriously, and they are constantly checking their equipment to eliminate any potential risks.
Swings and slides are just some of the popular pieces of playground equipment. With school out and more kids spending time outside, thousands head to the playground every summer for a fun time. But in order to keep these structures safe, there's a number of different rules the experts and officials must follow. Tony Mahosky from Marion County Parks and Recreation explains what has to be done.
Every day we're visually inspecting the playground just to make sure the chains are good on the swings, that nothing's broken, that nothing's been messed with or vandalized that could be dangerous for the kids.
The Marion County Health Department conducts annual inspections of these structures to make sure they're safe, not just for a specific age group, but for everyone.
We basically go on site and we look at the playground equipment, we look at the infrastructure that's in place, whether it be fences, and we look at the general condition of the area, and we evaluate them for safety and for to make sure that they're in good repair.
One of the important things to know about playground safety is that the actual temperature of the structure can get very, very hot, sometimes all the way up to 140 degrees if in direct sunlight. But you can actually use a tool just like this one to test the temperature of the surface. So let's give it a shot. Now, one of the first stops we'll make is a slide just like this one. We take this tool, point it right up to it, and it comes up to just about 83, 84 degrees. I also found a couple of people in the area, and we're gonna put them to the test. All right, guys, how hot or cold do you think this structure is?
I would say 70. I'm gonna say about 80.
All right, 70 and 80. Let's check this one. This one comes out to 92 and a half.
Ooh.
And this one, about 93.
It's sad. It just is.
With less than a week before Memorial Day, Sue Harden from Taylor County says she placed flowers and pictures down by her husband's grave at the West Virginia National Cemetery. She says she put them down 10 days before Memorial Day, but when she went back Wednesday, they were gone.
They were put on out of the goodness of our hearts and destroyed.
She told me she didn't know what happened, so she decided to ask a cemetery employee where her husband's flowers and pictures went.
I asked him where they was. He pointed to the old wooden dumpster and stood there. He didn't tell me anywhere else. I said, "Is this it?" He said, "Yeah," and just pointed to that old dirty dumpster, and that was it.
Harden says these were artificial flowers. Cemetery policy says potted plants will only be permitted on graves 10 days before through 10 days after Easter and Memorial Day. Artificial flowers are only allowed after the end of the mowing period in the fall and must be removed when mowing operations begin in the spring.
I know he did say, well, we do exceptions over Memorial Day. Well, what are these exceptions? Can I not put 10 days ahead like they're telling me?
Shifting to the other side now, the cemetery says they do keep flowers and other things in a holding area in case people want to retrieve them in the future.
Sure. Well, year-round, we welcome and actually encourage fresh cut flowers throughout the year, and we remove those once they become withered or unsightly. Artificial flowers, however, are only allowed after the end of the mowing operations in the fall, and then need to be removed when mowing operations resume in the spring.
However, Barnes said he understands the frustration, but there are rules in place.
Of course, we don't ever want to upset anyone over the flower issues. However, once mowing operations begin in the spring, they really need to be removed each day so that we can maintain the grounds.
I'm hoping they will not do this to anybody else. It's just lack of respect. That's all it is. Very lack of respect.
Well, this all actually comes down to things being done in Washington where these miners, they want the lawmakers to really push on making sure that these retired coal miners get the medical care they deserve, and really looking at thousands of different miners who really need this help.
Mark Dorsey and Dave Benkoski have spent more than 60 years combined working in the coal mines. They say it's not an easy job.
These people that's made this country, supplied the coal for electricity, deserve better. They do not need to go out like this with no health care.
They say when they took their jobs, they were lined up with health care benefits, which come more in handy after the job because of health concerns such as black lung.
You had, I put 36 years in the mine. I'll tell you what, it's a very physically demanding job. When you're ready to retire, your body is just about wore down.
Now, they want lawmakers to act on this issue. They feel there isn't much time left for this to get accomplished, and there are former miners out there who are in desperate need of health care.
Most of our retirees have black lung. Therefore, their health is demanding of doctors and health care. And that's why it's imperative that they keep this health care, because without it, they are sure to die without their medicine.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito has been one of the leaders on this, trying to make sure thousands of hardworking West Virginians who put so much on the line for our country get the care they deserve.
I want to make sure that the lifetime benefits on health care that have been promised and worked for and earned by our miners are able to, that we're able to keep that promise. And that's what the Miners Protection Act is all about.
If that health care is not provided to many of our retirees, many will just die because they have suffered a lot of health issues because of the many years of working in an industry that's, dangerous.
Earlier tonight on 5 News at 6, we told you about a number of power outages in our area, and we also told you those numbers would be updated on our website, WDTV.com. But here are the latest numbers according to First Energy and Mon Power. Just under 700 are without power in Marion County, and right next to that in Taylor, about 100 homes, and in Harrison, a little more than 200. Whenever there is severe weather, you can always go to WDTV.com to check out the power outage report. The fall semester about to start, many students are receiving their refund checks, but that also means students are burdened with more student loans. Remember that unpredictable winter weather we had? It was hot, then it was cold, then hot again. Well, it wasn't fun for farmers around the state, especially for the peach farmers. And a 5 News viewer happened to be looking outside in his backyard in Barber County, but what did he see? These are some pictures he took of bears in his backyard in Philippi, courtesy of Jerry Davis. He also told us they've been in and around his neighbor's yard as well. Believe that. It was a busy Saturday on the ice, on the court, and on the diamond, but it's also a busy day for SU lacrosse. Good afternoon, I'm Austin Pollack. Moving to the ice now, the Islanders beat the Capitals 3-1 in Game 6 in what could very well be the final game at Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders force a Game 7 down in Washington, but if New York loses, last night was the final game in Nassau County. To the hardwood, the Golden State Warriors tried to close out Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans in Game 4. We'll take you to the third quarter. Warriors up a dozen. Stephen Curry behind the head pass to Harrison Barnes for the slam. Curry was smooth at the Smoothie King Center. Golden State up 74-60. Not only did Curry drop 39, but he did it all in stellar fashion. An off-balance 3 from the right wing over Anthony Davis. This kid can do it all. And just to add some fun to it, Klay Thompson joins the 3 party. Riots have broken out in Baltimore in response to the mysterious death of Freddie Gray. Gray suffered spinal injuries while he was in custody of Baltimore police. Those injuries led to his death on April 19th. The protesters left City Hall at around 6 o'clock yesterday and made their way to Camden Yards just before the Orioles were set to face the Red Sox. That wraps up NCC News Sports at 12 o'clock. I'm Austin Pollack. For more, visit nccnewsonline.com.